Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like any ordinary penny, a small piece of copper that most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up off the street. But what if I told you that this very coin, a Lincoln 1959 1-cent piece, could be worth millions of dollars today? What if the coin you thought was just pocket change had the power to transform into a life-changing fortune? That's the mystery and the magic of coin collecting, and the story of the 1959 Lincoln penny is one of the most fascinating tales in American numismatics. This isn't just a story about money, it's a story about history, rarity, and hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. The 1959 Lincoln cent marks an important turning point in U.S. coinage. Before 1959, the reverse of the penny featured wheat ears, the famous wheat-back design that had been minted since 1909, the very first year the Lincoln cent was introduced. But in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new reverse, the Lincoln Memorial. This change meant the end of the wheat penny era and the beginning of a new chapter in the history of American coins. Collectors knew right away that this was more than just a design change. It was a moment that would forever divide two ages of the Lincoln cent. The front of the coin, known as the obverse, continued to display Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. But the reverse now showed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., designed by Frank Gasparro. This wasn't just a building placed on the back of a coin. It was a tribute to one of the most beloved presidents, and remarkably, if you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, making it one of the most detailed designs ever placed on a U.S. cent. But what makes the 1959 penny so valuable in certain cases isn't just the design. It's the rarity, the mistakes, and the unique minting errors that turn a 1-cent coin into a piece worth millions. You see, in the world of numismatics, errors are treasures. Coins that slipped past the mint's quality control become legends in the hands of collectors. For the 1959 penny, one of the most famous errors is the so-called 1959 D wheat reverse cent. This mysterious coin, struck in Denver, features the 1959 date on the obverse but somehow bears the wheat reverse instead of the newly introduced Lincoln Memorial. Only one known specimen has ever surfaced, and its authenticity has been the subject of debate among experts. If genuine, it is a multi-million-dollar coin, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that defies logic and keeps collectors searching through their pocket change even today. The excitement surrounding this coin shows just how powerful and thrilling coin collecting can be. Imagine someone decades ago picking up their change and finding what looked like a regular penny. Perhaps they tossed it into a jar, unaware of its true value. And today, that single coin could be worth more than houses, cars, or even a lifetime of savings. This is why the Lincoln 1959 cent is more than just money. It is a piece of American heritage with the potential for unimaginable fortune. Even outside the legendary era, condition plays a huge role in the value of the 1959 penny. Millions upon millions were minted that year, and most are only worth their face value. But if you have a coin in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, then you might be sitting on something far more valuable. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, can sell for thousands of dollars at auction. The reason? Scarcity in condition. It's easy to find a worn penny that has been circulating for decades, but finding one that looks as if it just rolled off the minting press in 1959 is like finding a diamond in the rough. Proof coins from 1959 are also highly sought after. These coins weren't meant for circulation, but were struck specifically for collectors, often with a special mirror-like finish. They carry unique qualities that regular circulation coins do not, and collectors prize them for their beauty and rarity. In perfect condition, proof examples can bring hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their grade and demand. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the sheer symbolism behind it. The Lincoln Memorial design wasn't just another government decision. It was a reflection of America's dedication to remembering its past, its leaders, and its struggles. The penny became not just a coin, but a teaching tool, a way for generations of Americans to carry a piece of their history in their pockets every day. children collecting pennies in jars, families passing down coins as keepsakes, and collectors chasing rare varieties. All of these stories are tied to the humble 1959 cent. Now imagine the thrill of searching through your old coins, maybe in a jar tucked away in a drawer or in a box of forgotten change, and spotting a 1959 penny. To most people, it would mean nothing, but for the sharp-eyed collector, it could spark a journey into history, discovery, and possibly immense wealth. Every time someone uncovers an error coin or a rare variation, it's like striking gold in the modern age. The dream of finding $1 million penny keeps people searching, keeps the hobby alive, and keeps the legend of coins like the 1959 cent burning bright. The beauty of this coin lies in its dual identity. On the surface, it is common, ordinary, even overlooked. But beneath the surface, it holds secrets, mysteries, and the potential for staggering value. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned expert, the 1959 Lincoln penny represents both the beginning of a new era in U.S. coinage and the possibility of a life-changing discovery. So the next time you see a penny, especially one from 1959, don't dismiss it. Look closer. Study the details. The condition, the history it represents. Because in that tiny coin, you might just be holding a fortune. Some coins have sold for millions, others for thousands, but all carry with them the excitement of possibility. The 1959 Lincoln 1 cent is not just copper and metal. It is a bridge between eras, a symbol of change, and perhaps, if you are lucky enough to find the right one, your ticket to unimaginable wealth. That's the power of the 1959 penny, a coin that hides greatness behind its simple face. Never underestimate the change in your pocket, because sometimes it holds the key to $1 million treasure. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary, so common, that millions of people pass it around every single day without giving it a second thought. Yet within that small copper piece, a single detail, a small variation, or a hidden minting error could transform it from just 1 cent into a treasure worth thousands or even millions of dollars. That's the story of the Lincoln 1978 1-cent coin, a simple penny that has shocked collectors and coin enthusiasts around the world by revealing secrets of value that no one expected. If you think pennies are worthless, think again. Because this little coin has proven that the tiniest piece of change can carry unimaginable wealth for those who recognize its rarity. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1978, the coin had already become an iconic piece of American currency, deeply tied to everyday life. Produced in massive quantities at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, the 1978 penny was made primarily of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. That composition alone already makes it different from modern pennies, which since 1982 have been struck mostly from zinc with only a thin copper plating. For collectors, this distinction matters because copper pennies carry more intrinsic metal value, especially when copper prices rise. But the 1978 penny holds much more significance than just the metal it was made of. What makes this coin fascinating is the world of mint errors and unique varieties that have been discovered in circulation. While hundreds of millions were struck, not all were created perfectly. Some 1978 Lincoln cents show doubling on the lettering, where words like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1978 appear with doubled outlines. This doubling, known as a doubled die error, is one of the most sought-after mistakes in numismatics. To the untrained eye, it might look like wear or a simple blur, but to collectors, it is a mark of rarity that can multiply the coin's value dramatically. A sharp doubled die 1978 penny can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition. Another variety that drives collectors into frenzy is the off-center strike. Imagine a penny where the design is shifted so far to one side that part of Lincoln's head or part of the lettering is cut off, leaving a blank crescent of copper. These off-center coins are often considered junk by those who don't know their worth, but in the collector's market, they can be worth incredible sums. A perfectly centered error with clear details and a visible date can skyrocket in value because it represents a true rarity among billions of standard issues. Beyond errors, condition plays an enormous role in determining the worth of a 1978 Lincoln cent. Most of these coins are heavily circulated, scratched, worn, and discolored from decades of use. But the ones that survived in pristine condition, stored away from hands, dirt, and air, have become treasures. Professional coin grading services assign grades based on sharpness of detail, luster, and absence of marks. A 1978 Lincoln cent in MS-67 red condition, meaning mint state with full original red copper shine, can sell for thousands at auction. In fact, some near-perfect examples have reached record-breaking prices, shocking those who once thought a penny was worth only 1 cent. It's the combination of rarity, error, and condition that creates the magic formula for millions of dollars in value. While not every 1978 penny will make you rich, the possibility is always there. The thrill comes from searching through pocket change, old jars of coins, or family collections, hoping to spot that one piece that holds hidden wealth. Collectors have turned this hunt into a passion, scouring every detail under magnifying glasses and lights, examining mint marks, edge quality, and die alignment. A simple D mark under the date means the coin came from the Denver Mint, while no mark indicates the Philadelphia Mint. For certain years, mint marks play a huge role in value, and for 1978, condition combined with the mint origin can mean big differences in worth. One of the most remarkable stories among collectors is how ordinary people, with no background in numismatics, have stumbled upon life-changing discoveries. Someone finds a coin in a drawer, another in loose change, or even on the ground, and suddenly they are holding a piece worth hundreds or thousands of times its face value. That is the beauty of coins like the 1978 Lincoln cent. They are part of daily life, hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their potential. But beyond financial worth, these coins also tell a story of history. The year 1978 was a transitional time in the United States, a period of economic challenges, inflation, and cultural change. Every penny struck that year passed through countless hands, buying candy, newspapers, bus tickets, and small items that defined daily life. Each coin carries the fingerprints of history, linking people across generations. When collectors hold a high-grade or rare 1978 penny, they are not just holding money. They are holding a piece of the past, preserved against time. Auctions and coin shows have highlighted the fascination with coins like the 1978 penny. Dealers and collectors gather, showcasing their finest examples, with bidding wars breaking out over rare varieties. In these circles, a coin that looks ordinary to most can ignite competition and drive prices into astonishing territory. It is this passion, this chase for perfection and rarity, that fuels the million-dollar market for coins once thought to be worth so little. For anyone watching today, the message is clear: never underestimate the power of a penny. That jar of change sitting in your house could contain a coin worth life-changing money. The Lincoln 1978 1-cent coin proves that value is not always obvious. It hides in details, in errors, in condition, and in history. So before you dismiss your pennies as worthless, take a closer look. The next time you hold a 1978 Lincoln cent, ask yourself, could this be the one that transforms a single cent into a treasure worth millions? The possibility is real, and the stories of those who discovered it are living proof. So, keep searching, keep looking, and never forget that greatness can be hidden in the smallest things. Because sometimes, the tiniest coin in your hand is holding the biggest secret. Close your eyes and think about a small coin that you might pass over without a second glance. A simple copper-colored piece that rests in pockets, drawers, and jars all across the world. Now picture that very coin, not as something ordinary, but as a hidden key to unimaginable wealth, a piece of metal that could be worth millions of dollars if it carries the right secret. The Lincoln 1984 1-cent coin, a coin so common and often ignored, has versions so rare and valuable that they have shocked collectors and changed the way people view everyday change. This is not just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the thrill of holding something in your hand that looks ordinary but holds extraordinary value. The 1984 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers, and millions rolled out of the U.S. Mint. Most of them are worth only a cent, exactly what they were intended to be. But the truth is, within those millions, some coins were struck with errors, varieties, and unique traits that transformed them into collectors' treasures. The most famous and sought after is the 1984 doubled die penny. At first glance, it looks like every other penny with Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But when examined closely, the letters and details on the coin show a dramatic doubling, a minting error that should not have happened. That doubling is what gives the coin its power, its value, and its place in numismatic history. Collectors search endlessly for this doubled die, and the most obvious place where the doubling appears is on Lincoln's ear. To the naked eye, it may look like a second ear resting just below the first one. It is a striking error, easy to see once you know where to look. A penny with this doubling is no longer just a penny. It becomes a rare gem that could fetch thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Some of these coins in pristine mint state have been known to sell for over $20,000, and certain experts believe that if a flawless example were to surface, it could cross into six-figure territory. That is the magic of the 1984 Lincoln penny. It is proof that even something as small as a cent can reach the status of a million-dollar legend in the eyes of collectors and investors. The story of why these coins exist begins with the minting process. Every coin is made by pressing a blank piece of metal between two engraved dies, one for the obverse and one for the reverse. When a die is incorrectly manufactured or misaligned during preparation, details can appear doubled. In 1984, this error escaped detection, and countless pennies were struck with the doubled image before the mistake was corrected. These errors were released into circulation, meaning they could end up in anyone's pocket. The fact that such a valuable coin could slip into everyday transactions makes the hunt even more thrilling. People today still search through rolls of pennies from banks, coin collections inherited from relatives, or old jars stored in homes, hoping to uncover one of these rare treasures. Stories circulate of lucky individuals who found the 1984 doubled die penny while casually checking their change, turning an ordinary day into an unforgettable moment. This excitement fuels the passion of the coin collecting community, where discoveries and stories are shared, and where the dream of finding a hidden fortune keeps the pursuit alive. But the doubled die is not the only version of the 1984 penny worth mentioning. Other minor varieties exist, such as pennies with off-center strikes, broad strikes, or clipped planchets. While these errors may not command the same astronomical prices as the doubled die, they are still highly collectible and can bring in hundreds of dollars, depending on the condition and severity of the error. Each error coin tells its own story about how something slipped through the rigid standards of the minting process, and each one adds to the mystery and allure of the 1984 penny. Condition plays an enormous role in value. A circulated 1984 penny with the doubled die error will still fetch a good price, but if it is uncirculated and preserved in brilliant mint state, its worth skyrockets. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have certified many of these coins, and collectors pay top dollar for coins that grade MS65 or higher. For some, owning a high-grade 1984 double die penny is like owning a piece of history and art combined, a tangible reminder of how mistakes can create beauty and value in unexpected places. Even regular 1984 pennies without errors can hold interest in high grades. While most are only worth a cent, those that remain in pristine condition, untouched and flawless, may be valued at a few dollars to a collector. The copper-plated zinc composition of these coins makes them prone to spotting, discoloration, and wear, so finding one in perfect shape is rare. Though not nearly as valuable as the doubled die variety, even these examples show that every coin has potential when preserved. The cultural impact of coins like the 1984 doubled die penny cannot be overstated. They turn ordinary people into treasure hunters. They inspire collectors to search deeper, and they remind us that history is not just in museums, but sometimes hiding in plain sight. Every time someone checks their change and looks closely at a penny, there's a moment of possibility, a small chance that they might uncover a life-changing find. This emotional pull is what keeps the legend alive and why the story of the 1984 penny is told again and again. So the next time you hold a Lincoln 1984 penny, don't dismiss it as just another coin. Look at the details, especially Lincoln's ear. Examine the letters, the date, the features that might reveal an error. That one coin could be the difference between a forgotten cent and a fortune. Coins are more than money. They are artifacts of history, symbols of craftsmanship, and sometimes tickets to unimaginable wealth. The Lincoln 1984 penny is proof of that, a coin that bridges the gap between the ordinary and the extraordinary. And somewhere out there, in a pocket, a drawer, or a coin jar, a 1984 doubled die penny still waits to be found. It waits for the moment when an unsuspecting person looks closely enough to see the hidden detail, the doubling that transforms a cent into a treasure. That discovery could change everything, turning loose change into life-changing wealth. That is the power of the Lincoln 1984 penny, a small coin with the potential to be worth millions, a silent reminder that fortune can hide in the most ordinary of places, waiting for the right eyes to see it.